the gates. We're covering the Grand Final. We are looking for prizes to be won, prizes to be lost, but most importantly, Peter Snorkeller Sterling is here to my right. How are you going, Pete?
Great to be here, Ray.
Good to hear, mate. Good to hear. All you have to do to win this prize over the Grand Final weekend is lock in the first try scorer, the exact margin, and the winning team, and you could find yourself a nice little prize from the wide world of sports.
Sounds good, Ray.
So add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the comments.
Make sure you like the video too. Shut the gates, we're back. Toby, we made it.
We are.
20 rounds, 3 more weeks of finals. Now we are in the grand final. It is the Penrith Panthers taking on the Melbourne Storm. Toby, who do you see going for this one?
Oh, mate. Tough game again. Just like every... I love the final series this year.
It has been. I think it's just been a pretty great season all up.
Absolutely.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with the rule changes have helped the game develop more and quicker football and more tries and more exciting. And But we come down to the best two teams of the year.
Absolutely.
They're fighting it out for the biggest prize of them all. Penrith have been the best team all year.
By a length.
They have, absolutely. They come into this game, just wanting to continue on what they have been doing, probably not change a lot of things. Melbourne come into the game off a quiet patch through the middle of the year, finished off strong. The experience from Melbourne, evident, playing a young side. From the games last week, I think Melbourne were the more impressive team. They probably played better than Penrith did. I'm going to lean towards Melbourne.
Yep.
I think they'll be cheering Cameron off at the end of the game for his last ever game.
Do you think this is his swan song?
It probably is. There was rumours I was getting talked through that he was signing with Gold Coast. I'm not sure if that story will break because I think if he wins this, he's pretty much done.
So you think it all depends on this game? If he loses, will he go to Titans next year,
I think he might, yeah.
Okay. Why not go anyway?
I know, I agree, mate.
The legacy, if he wins, the legacy is set at Melbourne is second to none, basically, at any club. But why not? It's almost a closing of a chapter. If he wins it at Melbourne, then goes to a different club.
Yeah.
Sort of like Cooper Cronk did in 2017.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So where did Melbourne win this? Do you think?
Kicking game again, vitally important from Melbourne. They're going to have to try and isolate Dylan Edwards. They've done that in the final series pretty well. The Para game, they were a bit sluggish. They couldn't find a reasonable end to their sets until the second half. They just blew Canberra away. Canberra were just not up for that game, and they just killed them. Are
you worried about... So after the 25th minute, when Canberra sort of decided to play, Melbourne only scored 6 more points. Are you worried about that? Or would you say it's just a case of... They sort of knew they were there already, they were just cruising.
Probably cruising.
Yep.
They just probably wanted to get their defence in order.
Yep.
Kept Canberra to 10 points with a lot of ball that Canberra had as well.
Yep.
Panthers as well, they knocked on, man. They dropped some football. The Bunnies could have won, providing the 40-20.
To be fair, I think Canberra also had a chance to win that game. They bombed.
True.
I would say they bombed 4 or 5 tries.
They did, yeah.
Absolutely. And I think a Panthers team may get them win that, because they have more. Penrith have more tackles inside the opposition 20 than any other team.
Yeah.
So you wonder, with that sort of Melbourne defence who did bomb, who saved the few tries, but Canberra also bombed them. You wonder if they will be able to hold them out.
Yeah.
So I think 10 points is the least they've leaked in about a month, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Melbourne. So that was a good step in the right direction for
Absolutely.
sure. Panthers, though, I'm going to tip Panthers.
Okay.
1-12. I'm going to say I was wrong about the Panthers. They didn't run out of steam at all. they're still full of steam.
Yeah.
They're like a kettle after a 10-minute bloody burst. They got full of steam still. I don't know what else to say about them. They've been the best team all year. And I don't think it's even close.
Yeah.
Melbourne, they've been probably the most clinical team all year, but still, they found a way to get there. They found a way. They beat every team pretty comfortably in the finals. Beat Parramatta, pretty comfortably in the end, 38-24.
Yeah.
And then they beat the Raiders last week. They had it wrapped up in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, I still have a couple of questions in their defence.
Yep.
Seeing that Canberra did bomb a few tries and they could have scored, possibly got back in the match, especially if Canberra were able to score late in that first half. But to their credit, they didn't.
Yeah.
Where Penrith, their defence is the best in the comp, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's the like points scored, but just their line speed is the best I've seen in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, maybe besides the 27 grand final,
Yeah.
where Roosters were up on Melbourne every single play. That's how Penrith have been for the last 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Since they versed the Tigers.
Yeah.
That game. And
Yep.
they haven't let off that whole time.
Yeah.
Melbourne are wearing their away jerseys though. What do you like? They've done it twice. 08, they got smashed 40-0.
Yeah.
And they did in 2017 when they got smashed by, was it 30-8 or something like that? Something like that against the Roosters. It was pretty comprehensive. They lost.
Yeah.
Do you see that being a factor?
Possibly.
Yep.
Yeah, if we believe in omens, because
Yep.
they have not won with the away jersey on.
Yeah.
You know that they haven't won for 3 years now, so I think that they'll come into it feeling a little bit confident. You're right with Penrith, mate. We can see all the flashy stuff and then the brilliant stuff and them laughing and having a handshake and all that, but all the 1%ers they do, like if you look from an aeroplane view, when they're attacking, no one stops moving. Everyone's in motion.
Yep.
Defensively, everyone is moving up off the line. If you look at Brisbane this year, you see how far apart the defences are. You know, once you move up on the line, you're stopping them. You're just stopping their momentum.
It's up to you where you want to meet them.
Exactly.
In the defensive line.
Exactly.
And Panthers have chosen to meet them at the advantage line nearly every single tackle.
Absolutely.
Every year. All the year, sorry. So, it's all about the defence, you know. So
Melbourne are definitely beatable, mate. They
definitely
are
beatable.
definitely beatable.
And we've seen Parramatta were the only team who beat Penrith all year. So, and as everyone's saying, it was a 10-minute period where Parramatta put on 3 tries.
Yep.
Do they have that sort of vulnerability in that minute, those 10 to 15 minutes where Melbourne can get them?
Absolutely.
Because we did see it again against the Rabbits.
Yep.
And to be fair, if Adam Reynolds kicked that 40-20, which was very unluckily, not a 40-20, it's the rules, we could have been seeing a different grand final.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, but to keep Rabbitohs the best attack in the last 2 months, 6 weeks to 2 months, to 16 points, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Yeah.
Special mention of Zay with that try that he set up at the end there to kill the game. Well, not to kill it, but to put him in the right spot.
Basically, yeah.
They are unbelievable, Penrith. Probably the best season from a team in quite a long time, I think.
If they this is one of those games, if they lose, it's now their 2001 Parramatta.
Yeah. And 2012 Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Those kind of teams are red hot, and then they can't get the big one, or can't win the big one. It'll be a travesty.
Yeah.
But I'm just leaning that Melbourne experience.
I don't blame you. Yeah. Pappenhausen, probably the most informed, maybe besides Gutho, to be the best fullback. But in saying that, I know Luai, Cleary, Isaiah Yeo, Appy getting all the props.
Yeah.
Last week, for me, Dylan Edwards was the Panthers' best player.
Yeah.
He diffused everything.
Yeah.
It was, and he scored that match-winning try,
Yeah.
which is exactly what you want from the best fullbacks in the game.
Yeah.
So, but on the other hand, you do have Pappenhausen.
Yeah, oh my God, he's a freak, isn't he?
Oh, unreal.
Looks like Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. I've been sent in with a special play.
Is this Melbourne's last year in the premiership window?
I believe it is, mate.
Yep, so you've got Vunivalu, Addo Carr, possibly Cameron Smith, Brandon Smith or Harry Grant possibly leaving as well. So you think this is the very last year for them to...
Possibly.
We know our old mate Glenn here will say, no, they're good for the next 15 years. But you've got to think about it.
Exactly. So their structures will always be there, Melbourne. They're probably always a top 8 side until, the next crop comes through that we're yet to see. What they're going to lack is that big player. Like they still got Cameron there.
Yeah.
Before
Cameron
they
Munster.
had Billy. Yeah, Munster's there.
Yeah.
They had Cooper Cronk, Greg Inglis, the list goes on, that really could tip them over to the edge to win those titles that they did.
Yeah.
But I just feel they might be on the decline. You got the two most influential people leaving in the next 2 years, Cameron Smith and Craig Bellamy.
Yep.
That, you know...
In active roles.
Yeah.
They may be behind the scenes, but still active. They're active roles.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And they're going to have to take a strong-willed coach that is going to take, like, his own philosophies, but still introduce what Craig Bellamy left.
Do you think it'll be Jason Riles?
I think it might be that they're breeding him.
Yeah, they're breeding him.
Well, you know...
He's getting birthed.
Take him out to the woodshed. You know, just breeding him into that role where they might feel he's the best candidate moving forward because he's there with Craig right now. He's been there for a couple of years. That's probably the way I would play anyway, if I was the power brokers down there. But
how do you see Jerome Hughes going in the next year or so if they don't have Cameron Smith?
Big one.
Big one?
Big one.
It's big responsibility on his shoulders.
Yeah. We've seen against the Roosters what he's capable of without a dominant playmaker beside him.
Yeah.
But then, you know,
can he do it for a full year?
That's the question, mate. That is the question. Absolutely, you're absolutely right.
But he has come through in leaps and bounds.
He has.
We were doubting him at the end of last year.
Yeah.
And we were saying, oh man, this guy, they're just trying to get another one.
Yeah.
Trying to get someone else. He was like just the stay until they got someone else. He kept the seat warm.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he could have a big influence in this game as well.
Absolutely.
So
well, he's faced Georgie and he's faced Mitchell in the final series.
Yep.
He's beaten them both.
Yep.
Now he plays against the best 7 in the game. You know, how's he going to go? But again, Ford packs win big games. And I'm expecting Melbourne, you know, with the strength that they have, they are. That first 15 to 20 the other night, they were dynamite.
Yep.
They were red hot.
Yep.
And Penrith, if I'm just looking at both prelims, they were way better than Penrith.
Okay, sure.
Souths were better than Canberra, but, you know, Melbourne were better than Penrith. So that's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, definitely. They bombed it. Penrith did bomb a few tries as well. They could have been one on top, but they weren't.
Yeah.
That's the fact. They weren't.
Yeah.
You know, if you can say they was dominant all they went. They only won 20-16.
That's it.
You know, so we are getting the 1 and 2. So what's your final for this one?
Melbourne 1-12, mate.
Yep. Can you give us an exact?
Exact margin? I might go Melbourne by 1.
By just 1?
Yeah.
All right.
Might be golden point.
Yeah. Well, we don't go golden point. It's extra time.
Oh, that's right.
Until we get that extra 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to go Penrith by. I hate saying 8. I'm going to say by 6. Penrith by 6.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think though? Penrith, can they finish off a near perfect season, or will Melbourne? Can they get another one in the bank and just keep going on with the Cameron Smith, Craig Bellamy legacy? Let us know what you think in the comments. That's a